I get booked on the Tahoe gig,
Yeah.
which anyone's listening, they might know that the Improv here in LA also books a number of other clubs. They have improvs all around the country, one of them being the Lake Tahoe one.
Yeah.
And they'll send comics from LA out to Tahoe for a week, which is just the greatest gig ever. They put you up in a beautiful hotel. You get your own suite. They comp all your meals. I mean, you feel like you have arrived. And I did my first time going to Tahoe. I got there that day. I checked into the hotel. I went up to my suite. The door opened. I was like, this is my room. You've got to be kidding me. This is amazing. It's a beautiful suite. It's got the office area. It's got a bathroom with a hot tub in it or whatever, or, with the jets in the tub. And it was just like, I was like, oh my God. And they give me the, my meal comps for the week. And and you see all the restaurants you can eat at. I'm like, dude, this is incredible. So that night I'm like, dude, I'm doing this right. So I go down to the club like an hour early. I introduce myself to the people taking tickets, to the people in the kitchen, to the bartender, to the waitress. I go introduce myself to the manager of the club. I just want to get along with everyone. I want them to remember me well. I meet the other comics. So then I'm hanging out backstage, and there's a curtain in front of the stage, so you can't see who's coming into the club, but I can hear that it's filling up. And I'm going up first. And waitress comes back. She goes, just so you guys know, it's a full house out there tonight. I'm like, oh man, I'm living my comedy dreams. Curtain goes up. First comic, and they have like an intro too, like, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the first comic of the evening, Mr. Michael Regilio. Curtain goes up. I go running out on stage. I'm like, second I get on stage, everyone I can see immediately, everyone's over 60. Everyone's got gray hair, and there are a number of visible MAGA hats on. And I'm looking like me. So I launch into my routine. First joke doesn't hit. Second joke doesn't hit. Third joke doesn't hit. I get into my fourth joke. I'm not proud of this, but it was a stupid joke, and it was a dirty joke, but the setup involved the word fleshlight. And I could see that no one of these 65-year-old conservative Christians knew what a fleshlight was. And in my head, I said, okay, Regilio, you got two choices here. You can either drop it and move on to the next joke, or you can explain to these people what a fleshlight is. I don't know why, but I went with option 2. They turned on me so hard. I looked down, my hand was shaking. They turned on me so hard. I lost my place. I'm stammering around. I look over at the clock. I'm supposed to do 15 minutes. I've been on stage 3 minutes. They hated me so bad. I don't know how I got through that set, but somehow I get 15 minutes. I walk off stage, and the manager, who was so nice to me before the show, literally is like, come here. He takes me backstage. He's like, these are not comedy fans. These are high rollers who come into this club. We give them free tickets and everything. It's like, they did not like you at all. This is not some LA street show, is what he said to me. I'm like, okay, I don't know that we even have LA street show. I don't know what a street show is, but okay, fine. Anyway, he's like, you need a whole new set for tomorrow night. I went back to my room that night, just about the lowest I've ever been in my entire life. I didn't sleep that night. I rewrote an entire new 15-minute set. And the guy on the feature was Ron Morey. Great guy, super cool guy. And he gave me the best advice before I went on the second night. He said, the problem wasn't your jokes. And it wasn't even that they were dirty. Don't say the F word to them. Say make love if you're referring to the act or something. Find another way to say it, but you can still tell the joke. They don't mind the content. It's the words. He goes, but they don't like you. Look at yourself. They don't like liberals. They don't like MSNBC, and they don't like dudes from LA. This is middle America Trump fans. It's like, you have to disarm them right away. And so I did. I quickly wrote up a couple of self-deprecating jokes. I took to the stage. These are not great jokes, but it did the trick. I was like, hey, who is this long-haired weirdo, right? Am I right? They're like, yeah, you're long-haired weirdo. I go, hey, I can describe myself in 2 words. Parental disappointment. And everyone's like, yeah, if you were my son, I'd be super disappointed in you. And I went home that night, or I went back to my room that night with the recording of the show. I wrote down every joke. The ones that hit, I gave a check to. The ones that didn't, I gave -2. I switched those out. Next night, I tried a new set list. Even hit even harder. I just honed it in. I figured this crowd out. And the last night of my run there, the very same manager that gave me grief said to me after my set, "We want you back." So
Yeah.
turned it all the way around.